First one for either one, if you can. Obviously, they jumped out to a really fast start. What did they do that? I mean, we saw their scoring run, but as far as on the defensive end, why did it just seem as it seemed like very easy that they took you guys out of your game? Was it or
I mean, I think that they were ready. I felt like they were more ready than we were when we started the game. Um, I guess the way that it felt like, we had an idea of what we wanted to do, but they did what they wanted to do to start the game off. We were a bit more reactive and not proactive. And even in moments when we had to kind of make decisions, at least in the beginning, we weren't responsive. We were a little bit more reactive. And so you can't do that against a team like this.
Nneka? Obviously, everyone knows what Asia's capable of doing, but this team has gotten better and healthier down the stretch. Did that depth also was that something that you ladies weren't expecting?
No, we were prepared. We understood. Over the course of the season, the changing of their lineups, and then ultimately getting everyone back, um, getting everyone back healthy. So they have a full roster now, and we have to make sure that we attend to the scouting report in that way.
Last one. Can you just tell us what you saw on that play with Jewel? It looked like you were turning away at the same
I
time.
didn't see, like I didn't even realize that the ball hit her. That was totally my fault. I was trying to let her know, like, I didn't see her. I was frustrated because I thought that she had fouled me, and it turns out that that's what happened. And so instead of just giving the ball to the ref out of frustration, I just dropped the ball. Um, that's not me. I wouldn't throw the ball at anyone. I went to her. I went to Chelsea. I told them, like, hey, that's not. I didn't see her. So that was my mistake. For not being more careful in that moment, especially in a moment of frustration. Quite frankly, there's no reason for me to do that. We were down by so much. I just want to play well and win. Hmm.
All right, we'll go to Zoom. Nikias, go ahead.
Hi, just a quick one for either player, really. I was wondering, did it feel like the Aces did anything differently from a spacing perspective from the regular season matchups to kind of make it more difficult to load up defensively?
Did they do anything differently on offense or defense, spacing wise? Defensively? What is it? Do you understand?
Nikias, could you?
Can you clarify?
Oh, yeah, so from the Aces offense, did you feel like they did anything different spacing wise to make it more difficult to load up defensively?
I personally don't think so. I think it was their defense that was a bit different. Like Nneka said, defensively we were just late on everything. We just weren't ready. I don't think they did anything offensively different. I think obviously like when you look at the free throws they're getting, the foul count, it was a lot of it was just because we were out of position because we were reacting late to something. So we just have to be ready on our toes. We have the scout. We have everything that we need to. We just have to be ready.
Um, I guess Nneka, the chance to go home, which you guys didn't have last year. You had to play your second game here. How much does that help? I know home hasn't necessarily been as friendly to you guys as you wanted it to be, but can you get some energy that maybe you didn't have tonight as much as you wanted?
Yeah, I mean, I can't imagine how you wouldn't, even with us having, I guess, a more successful record on the road. It's you're at home, you're sleeping in your bed, you have the fans there. There's more of a familiarity with your routine. Um, but at the end of the day, a game's gonna get played, and there's teams that are looking to advance. So we have to, as much energy and as much as our fans deserve for us to play well and win in front of them, we have to figure out how to do it no matter what. And that's going to be the test on Tuesday.
We'll go to Zoom. Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Thanks as always, Gabby. Just want to hear the message that Noelle emphasized to you all about getting the game to victory. And do you feel if teams have a fortunate night from the 3 point line that the team doesn't have the energy to respond back when teams shoot well against you all?
Her message was just a reminder that it's a series and that it's one game. We still have another day to live. So that was the message. And also, I think she was, heavy on our turnovers. That's not us. A lot of what happened tonight was they obviously played great. They've been playing great for the last however many games. But a lot of what tonight was things that we can control. You know, our turnovers, especially, and sometimes the best defense is offense. You know, us taking care of the ball, us taking the correct shot, so that we're not late, so that we're not just playing, against numbers because we're playing in transition. So that was the message post game.
Thanks.
All right, Christian on Zoom, go ahead.
Yes, my question's for Nneka. Stemming from last year, there have been certain times, whether it be a good game or a bad game, where you felt like the team wasn't necessarily ready. And you've noted before, like the experience level. You and Skylar hold about 50% of the team's 107 playoff games. Just kind of wondering, what do you think is going to take for the team to get there to that level that feel like it hasn't really hit that gear yet?
Wait, what did you say about me and Skylar? I couldn't hear you very well.
You
Sorry.
and Skylar account for 50.4% of Seattle's 107 playoff games, currently on the roster. So I'm just kind of wondering, what is it going to take for the team to get there, besides the, two veterans?
I mean, we're not the only two on the team, and we have a lot of players who have, some level of playoff experience. Um, I think along with the heightened intensity in playoffs, it's also kind of a tale of who we are as we've evolved through the season. It's not going to come down to one or two players. It's going to come down to us collectively and how we've been navigating ourselves since after All-Star and being in tighter games and being able to turn that around, being in games where we have to start better, figuring out how we can put four quarters together. I think that in combination with playoff experience at different levels individually and also our collective goal is what's going to help us be in a better position on Tuesday.
All right, final question. We'll go back to Nikias.
A quick one for Nneka, concerning the Aces defense. Were you at all surprised by the volume of switching that you saw from them tonight?
No, I wasn't. I watched quite a bit of tape, and especially in the last game that we played against them, um, I expected the switch. I actually even expected, a quick double um, whenever there was a chance. Um, and I think that's going to be something that we look a lot at on video, understanding how they've loaded up on defense and perhaps, you know, figuring out what we can do with the mismatches and also understanding that, there will be a lot of switching, which I think at times disrupted us tonight. So we'll be able to look back at that and figure out what we can do.
Thanks, Gabby. Thanks, Nneka.
Thank you guys.
Coach, it seemed like that it was difficult to get much going offensively in that first half, and that was sort of a big hole to try to climb out of. Did you feel like that was one of the more difficult things to try to come back in this game, is how big that hole was?
Yeah, you can't score 12 and 13 points in the first half on the road against a team who is red hot. We turned the ball over to start the game, and that kind of set the tone for what we did offensively. Not a lot of pace, not a lot of intentionality with attacking their switches. Can't win a game like that.
No, I think this is the second time since Nelissa joined the Aces that you've they played Seattle. She had a double-double the first time. She didn't have one tonight, but she does so many other things. Her presence on the court, whether it's blocking a shot, defensive disruptions. Can you just talk about what makes it difficult to?
The paint, so the O boards as well. Asia's guarding Nneka, and because of that, they load up on their switches. They're loading up, and Nelissa is big down there to help a lot of times with size at the rim. She's a capable big who can shoot as well. So defensively, you can't really play off her. She just has a knack for the ball, and also sharp defensively with their coverages to make it compact in the paint.
All right, we'll go to Zoom. Kevin Pelton, go ahead.
Hey, Coach, tough start for Dom. How much do you think she benefited from the experience and really being able to play through things in the second half and get going?
Yeah, it was important to have her find some rhythm. We're gonna need Dom's points. Point blank period. I think she was 1 for 6 at one point in the game. Found some rhythm. Saw some shots go through. It's physical. It is a physical game, and we have to kind of push through some physicality. She usually gets to the free throw line. Didn't get there as much, but it was good to see her settle into the game in the second half because we're going to need that effort on Tuesday.
All right, Nikias, go ahead.
Just a quick one from me, Coach. As you alluded to the switches a little bit earlier, were you surprised by the volume of switches at all from Vegas, or just in general, did you feel like it was just an execution deal or a speed deal dealing with those?
Yeah, no, wasn't. I was thinking that they were going to be a little bit more aggressive on the Sky Nneka coverage. They ended up switching that. We just weren't patient in finding Nneka in the paint in order to execute on the switches. They were coming big. They were trapping, showing bodies a little bit, even on her post touches. But we have to execute the switches way better than we did. Just have to have way more poise and not give them the ball. We have to have better shots on goal.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Andrew Jones, go ahead.
Thanks again, Coach. Slim Sykes, just wasn't her night tonight in terms of getting into rhythm. You just talk about trying to get her back to her level for game 2 and dealing with Dana Evans off the bench with how she's just been a playmaker for them. Those two elements about Slim Sykes and Dana Evans.
Yeah, we need Slim to get to the free throw line for us. That's one thing that she does at a high level. But we gotta. She can't turn the ball over 5 times, and a lot of these situations she's going to continue to be in. She's capable of getting downhill. On the flip side, on the other side of the floor, just continuing to need her presence on their athletic guards. And Dana, she's been playing very confidently, shooting the ball well, sneak drives, all of these things that we know about her game. We weren't locked into her tendencies, so we have to be sharper in that area.
All right, Christian, go ahead on Zoom.
Hey, Coach. Nneka was just in here and basically just said, it's a team game. It's going to take more than, her and Skylar because they have over 50% of the team's playoff experience. Just kind of wondering from, your angle on the sideline, how do you navigate these moments, with players that aren't exactly producing where you expect them to be, and then just kind of get them over that ledge where, where you think they can be?
Yeah, just got to stay the course over the course of the game, not get too high, too low, try to put them in positions and understanding how we can execute and, pouring the confidence into that specifically. We're going to continue to need everybody, Nneka is completely right. E is going to be important. We've already talked about Dom and Slim. It has to be a team effort, but in those moments, it is trying to simplify the game, and trying to keep it micro, possession by possession at a time, and try to chip away at that lead. We got it down to 5, and then all of a sudden, again, weren't disciplined defensively and offensively. So it's doable, but we just have to stay way sharper than we were.
Yeah, Coach, I guess the energy part of it, I know last year after you were here, energy was something you were concerned about with the team. Do you feel like that won't be a problem on Tuesday? I mean, obviously this group's backs are against the wall. Is there anything you have to say to them, or do they kind of know what the assignment is, if you will?
Yeah, I think that's been, us all season, understanding moments. Last year in this position, I think Nneka had like 38-minute game. I don't know. Don't quote me on that. So if you're talking about energy level, I'm looking at the stats and nobody is over 30. So I don't think that should be an issue. Now it's about energy, effort, and focus. It is between our ears. And understanding that is going to take more than just the energy. It's going to take execution. It's going to take all the other intangibles in order to get this thing back to Vegas. But, hopefully, we have a day in between. I think that's good enough for this group to understand where we need to be for Tuesday.
We got one final question. Maz, go ahead.
Yep. I know we just balancing the sense of urgency, and yet they have to be patient in the game. How do you preach that?
Yeah, it's a balance of that. But the patience isn't it's sort of like the be quick but don't hurry. The patience is understanding in playoff basketball that thing becomes possession by possession, and understanding the execution and how we can do that. It is taking a beat and looking, surveying the floor. And these are things, we had a day to look at it and improve from it. The urgency is more of an energy thing. It is more of a mindset thing. I don't think that our pace was where we needed to be. Looked at halftime, we were single digits in fast break points, and our deflections were super low. So defensive activity was not indicative of who we really are. And then our fast break points, generating turnovers and easy baskets wasn't up to par. And so that aspect of it, yeah, the urgency there. But then when we get in these specific possessions, we have to take our time and read the game.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.
First one, just for Coach, you said at shoot around that this was going to be about being present in the moment, and like the defense was going to be key, and then you guys came out and executed that perfectly. I feel like maybe sometimes that's rare in sports for a team to go and do exactly what their coach says they should do. What was that like to just watch from the side?
I love it when that happens. No, they were really good. They were locked in. Allowed us to get out, offensively. It's all married together, but when we play defense, we become very difficult to beat. I didn't even get to say your post defense. How much am I on you about defense all the time? And she just keeps getting better and better at what we're asking her to do. But I thought we had a lot of activity, on time, on rotations, just a lot of really hard work out there and a lot of communication. And we're going to have to, rinse and repeat up in Seattle.
Asia, I'm sure you'll get more serious questions than this one, but I have to ask, did you request Crime Mob at halftime, or was that just something that the organization did?
I wish. I found out the night before, and I was really excited. And halftime, it kind of broke my heart a little bit that I missed them. But, I love me some Crime Mob, y'all. They are the crew that really helped raise me. I'm not a trench baby, but they really held it down. Like Diamond, ooh, I hate I missed it, but I had a game to play. Had to go to work.
I read that Nuck If You Buck was South Carolina's anthem the
It
year that you led
was.
them to the first national.
Wait a minute, you did that song?
Yes,
Yes,
girl.
they performed
But
it.
that's why I was telling you. But
I only had a few.
I was wondering if, I mean, this is maybe a little bit of a stretch, but you led a team to history with that as the anthem. Does it almost feel like full circle that now you're kind of on the brink of history yourself? Like every single time you go to the line, it's MVP chants, and that song is still the anthem.
yeah, I never thought this song was gonna follow me. Literally in college, that was our theme song, and then here when we run out, it's also being played. So yeah, Crime Mob is near and dear to my heart, honestly, and I hate that I missed it, but at the same time, it's pretty cool to kind of see it just grow along with me.
Asia, I'll start with you. Since Liz has got here, it's been Lil Sis, this relationship. Now we're here. How automatic is where it's just, I know where she's at, she knows where I'm at. How have you seen that on-court relationship grow and just get stronger?
I mean, it's been tons of fun to just grow alongside Liz. Like, she's helped me grow a ton. She's helped me lead her and teach her. And that's something that's I hold near and dear to my heart. And so I think just on court, you see that. Like, she knows how to get to her spots. We tell her, like, the dunker's going to be her sweet spot. And I think she's always ready for the moment. And I think today, yeah, I didn't get a chance to tell you either. Just how on point she was with everything was so key for us. Like, it was just like, to know that someone's going to be that second and third layer in action of defense for you, you never feel like you're on an island. So it's been a joy to just play alongside Liz leading up to this point, and just the way that she's just always at their doing their little things at the right time and they're at their like in the right space, and it kind of helps us flow into our offense, but also our defense as well.
And for you, Liz, I don't know how many times we've had this conversation and how much you love being here, but now X amount of games in, how much fun are you having? Because it just, as she said, it just looks so natural and it looks like you're having the time of your life.
Oh, I am. Trust me. Nah, I am though. Like honestly, winning is fun. So when winning is a standard, it raises your level, raises your will to win. So just being surrounded by such, big players, big coaches, I won't take this opportunity for granted.
Becky, you inserted Jewel into the game. You inserted Jewel into the game at the 7:08 mark of that first quarter. Maybe for the next regulation or full regulation minute or two, you kind of ran everything through her. Was that originally the game plan to kind of come in as soon as she got in, kind of let her heat up it kind of instantly?
I mean, it kind of just happened organically. Obviously, she's a priority. We want to get her shots. We want to get her going. And it happened to work out. We were getting stops though. So, like I said, when we play defense like that, everybody eats. Everybody comes to the table. Everybody eats. There's enough for everyone. And, just want to circle back to Liz real quick. She's like, she's always looking to play off A. So it requires a lot of patience and timing on her part. She's watching constantly kind of where A is and just ready to assist. Because it's not like I call her number a lot. We do know when people switch, we can give it to her. Like we can make people pay in some ways. But I just think it's a really self-sacrificing role that she's come into. And I just want to give you props for that. And she's fit really nicely with us. But also getting back to Jewel, I mean, she's a whole problem. If she sees one or two early ones go in, we know she's going to be cooking all night. So it was nice to get her going, early on. But when the ball is just sprayed around, I can't tell you who's going to get the shot. They're just playing basketball, free movement, freedom of space, and we just share and play with each other. And if we do that, we become really hard to stop, and we become very unpredictable. I mean, it becomes, who's ever open, and just that consistency and that discipline to find the open man. We're just going to keep working and get the best shot available.
Yeah, Asia, I think I asked you this. I know you guys have been higher seed, but since Coach Hammond's been here, you guys haven't lost a first round game. And how important is it that you guys have been ready for all of those games? There hasn't been a slip up of letting one of those slide away in terms of the energy that you need to go through an entire playoff run.
I mean, Beck pretty much sets the tone. Like, and when it comes to our shoot arounds, when it comes to our practices, it's like a switch just flips. And she really sets the tone, and then it trickles down to me. And then we go into the locker room and we just make sure that everyone's on the same page because this is now the time where you have to dang on be perfect. And we know that for us and the way that people play us, we have to bring our A game every single time. So we don't take any moment for granted. We understand how hard it is and what it took for us, and minus this year, how hard it like the journey was for us to get to this point. And so we know we got to come out and be on point no matter what, because people gonna know our plays, people gonna know motions, actions, whatever. Now it's just doing the right, just playing the perfect basketball at the right time. So we know we have to do that every single day. But Beck sets the tone, and then we just kind of follow her.
Melissa, it's your first playoff game as an ace here, packed out, white out. Like, how are you taking in the atmosphere so far?
Um, I don't know, just enjoying the moment. Haven't I mean, I've been in an environment like this, but I feel like just the love and the support that, I've gotten here, it like feeds the energy I got and the confidence I got. So, I enjoy playing in front of, you know, our sold out crowd every single night. I think that's a huge reason on, why we're so successful.
Coach, for you, how do you help your players right now celebrate this streak while still keeping your eyes ahead?
I'm on that ass.
I was like, no, I wasn't sure if I should say. No. And then Asia had the reaction. I knew right away.
No
No.
celebration.
I mean,
You guys celebrate this more than we do. We guarantee you that.
I
Yes,
mean,
the streak
we-
stopped in the regular season.
at 0-0,
It's
it's the first of
0-0.
9 win. So that's how we want to approach it with I don't know. I just tell them all the time about just win the moment, be present in the moment. You know, the next play doesn't care about the last play. You got to be on the next play, and then be great self-adjusters, self-teachers out there. You know, don't let an action that beat you once, don't let them come down and run it again and beat you again. Like, make those little adjustments. Fortunately, you know, earlier in the season, if you're following us, I was talking about reads a lot of time, and I just this team is starting to read at a very elite level, and that's very important in playoffs because you're scouted. They're going to know the first first actions. It's what you do after that, because at the end of the day, a defense is always going to pick something they're willing to live with, and it's on us to kind of search what that is and then punish it. And so, yeah, the wins are great. I like them, even if I don't smile very much during them. I'm actually a big softie. You just ask them. But, I demand a lot of them. I expect a lot of them. And it's always about us. Still to this day, yes, we're playing a very good Seattle team, but it's about us. And we're still on a mission to get better every time we step on the court.
Last question, we'll go to Nikias on Zoom. Last question, Nikias.
Hi, everyone. I had one for Coach and a quick one for Nelissa, if that's okay. For Coach, this felt like a really good spacing game overall. Like, it didn't feel like Seattle could load up defensively even if they wanted to with the way that you spaced the floor. Was that just, the execution? Was that just the reads, or did you actually tweak anything heading into the series?
We want a spaced floor. We'll work very hard for a spaced floor. So some of it is a little bit design in the play calling that we've been doing. But when we hit shots early on too, that spaces the floor as well with the ball popping. Makes life easier on A for sure, because you can only take so many threes being drilled in your, because you're loading up. So just playing the right way early on often provides that space. But like, Seattle's not in charge of where we go and sprint to offensively. We're in charge of that. We dictate that. And so I think just, being disciplined in that helps everybody. It helps A, it helps our guards. The paint is for everyone, so we want a lot of space out there. It's for you too, Liz. We like Liz in there with her duck-ins and just her timing to get in there, one more board. She has a double-double for us first night, I told her to be a beast, and she was. But it helps everybody when we have disciplined runners to those corners.
Got you. And for Alyssa, which area of your defense are you most proud of?
Shit, all of it, man. For real. It took a long time to get here. No, I had 0 fouls. That is unheard of. So I'm happy about everything.
There we go. Thank y'all.
All right, thank you, everyone.